All right, Bucks win, Bucks win, Bucks win. A big victory here against the Carolina Panthers, a team that had been playing better as of late, but has had a couple of missteps. This one being a huge one, 48-14 in a game the Buccaneers needed to. They technically would have still been alive had they lost, but let's just be honest, they need to win out if they're going to make the playoffs. Now we all gotta, if we're Bucks fans here, I know some just like to hear my thoughts, but for the Bucks fans here, gotta make sure that we can win, or not we can win, but the Falcons can lose on Sunday Night Football. A Falcons loss would put the Buccaneers in control of their destiny again. Falcons play the Commanders tonight, so that's a huge game. But yeah, I mean, everything went well. Mike Evans, I guess you could say, could he have had a little bit more yards to make it a little bit easier to get the 1,000? But still, he ends the day with 97 yards and 2 touchdowns. He currently just needs 85 yards to final game of the season against a Saints team that has really struggled, although does have a tendency to take away Mike Evans. And Evans is going to get a lot of double teams in that game as well. So hopefully they can, I'm sure they'll do what they can. Hopefully that game can go one way and they can feed him the ball a bit. And to be honest, I mean, he should be getting fed the ball regardless. That's a good strategy there. So yeah, that feels like it's in a good spot. It's no guarantee though. Story of this game, before anything, is the duck. The duck, obviously, is the story. What a fun thing that was, right? I mean, the duck gets on the field. The Buccaneers, it was such a funny sequence where I'm watching it. I'm not at the game, obviously, and all of a sudden, I hear the crowd just going crazy. And I'm like, why are people cheering? What happened here? And then you see the Ducks on the field, and immediately after you get the blocked punt touchdown. So that duck, I think if we win the Super Bowl this year, it's because of that duck. That's our good luck charm, and that's what's happening here. But no, really the story of the game is Baker Mayfield, who, listen, the Panthers do not have a good defense, and they had some injuries on top of it. They've had some injuries all year, but they had some injuries going into this game. J.C. Horn for the Panthers, who hasn't had his best year, but after a game like this, you almost kind of wonder how much of it is just he's getting asked to do so much and hasn't fully been able to, when he's going up against number one receivers one-on-one every game because he just has to. They can't afford to not have that happen. Then might make him look worse. Because, I mean, it was rough in the Panthers secondary, but there were some really good plays here by Mayfield as well. I mean, he was making some great plays, and what I loved from him in this game, he did a good job of throwing the ball away when things weren't working. He did a good job of only really taking one or two. I think there's one sack I didn't love, or I don't remember if it was a sack or just a pressure, but did a pretty good job at not doing the thing where he runs around. He didn't take the hits he didn't have to take. Even early on when this was a competitive game, there was a couple plays where he just went down instead of taking a hit. That's what I want to see from Baker because he's so good at pushing the ball down the field. If he can cut down on the mistakes, which he did in this game, he can give you the positives in some of these throws that he was making. I mean, the numbers are just stupid. In 32 attempts, 359 yards and 5 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, that's just crazy. He's currently sitting at 49 passing touchdowns on the year. Assuming he gets at least one passing touchdown next week, he will have 40 passing touchdowns. I believe it would be the third time in Buccaneers history they've had a quarterback throw for 40 passing touchdowns. The first 2 were Tom Brady, which is crazy because he was only here for 3 years, and one of those years didn't go so well. So, yeah, that's crazy. So, I mean, also, the fact that I haven't brought up Bucky Irving yet is unfair to Bucky Irving. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. Some of the moves he's making, there's plays where there aren't holes for him, and he's still finding ways to get 10, 15 yards. And then when the plays where there are holes for him, he's getting 50, it feels like. I mean, and some of that has to go to the offensive line too, which adding Graham Barton and getting, if you have 2 good tackles and a good center, that's sometimes all an offensive line needs. The guards can kind of just do their job because you can let the other guys make the tougher blocks, and that's kind of what we've seen. I mean, Tristan Wirfs and Luke Gadecki, I still don't know how to say his name, which I should know. I always say Gadecki, but then sometimes I say Gadecki. Anyway, Luke Gadecki is what I will refer to him as. But, I mean, those guys, the way they can get out and make those blocks, on screen passes and off the edge like that. It's so impactful. So yeah, really good offensive day. Again, the Panthers are the Panthers. And it has to be mentioned that, like, okay, well, this is still an awesome game. It's still impressive to put up 49 points, 48 points. I don't care who you're playing. It still is the Panthers. Panthers offense had been playing well, though, and the Buccaneers were able to really shut that down. And a big part of what they were able to do was just get to obvious passing situations. And part of that was scoring every drive. Now the Panthers, they're going to be throwing a lot, and if they run the ball, you're kind of okay with it. And Todd Bowles can dial up these blitzes, which he's still very good at, right? Regardless of what you want to say about Bowles, still very good at that stuff. I still don't get why he keeps putting these depth corners on Adam Thielen or like on opposing team's best receiver. It feels like he's the one coach in the NFL that can't figure out that if the other team's best receiver is in the slot, you should still put your best corner on him, right? Just because he's in the slot doesn't mean he's like their third best receiver. So that drives me crazy. Famously, the Cooper Kupp play, he put Winfield on Kupp instead of a corner. We don't need to get into that. So that stuff is still frustrating. And I know the block punt was great. They still need to be better at punts and stuff like that. But I mean, again, there's going to be issues in every game. The defense did pick it up and play very well, I thought, in this game, after despite a couple of not ideal drives. And Bryce Young made some plays. You got to give him some credit. Although this was not Young's best game either. He missed a couple plays. This could have been there could have been more for the Panthers in this one. So, yeah, that's the other factor. I mean, some of the stats are just crazy in this one. Like, time of possession, the Panthers had the ball for 18 minutes and 49 seconds. Like, that's just, you're not winning games if you're the Panthers, if that happens. You're just not. So, yeah, I mean, a huge game. And, again, you won 48-14. There weren't even any turnovers in this game. It wasn't like you got some pick sixes to help that out. They did get the blocked punt touchdown, but that was it. So, pretty crazy stuff here by the Buccaneers, who, again, just to set the stage for what they need to happen the rest of the way, they need either one Falcons, assuming the Buccaneers win next week, which is, you never know, but you feel good about it. The Saints have just been playing horrible as of late. If the Buccaneers can win that game, what they would then need is either one Falcons loss or two Commanders losses. So the Falcons play the Commanders tonight. So if the Commanders win, which they're favored to win, if that can happen, all you need to do is beat the Saints the final game of the season, and you're in. If that does not happen and the Falcons are able to pull off that victory, it's not dead yet, although it does become a little bit more difficult. We would need either a Commanders loss the final game of the season as well, or a Falcons loss the final game of the season. The Falcons play the Panthers, who we just saw, not in great shape right now. The Commanders would play the Cowboys, who Cowboys did beat the Commanders and the Buccaneers this season, have been playing better as of late, although did not have a good game against the Eagles. So we'll see. It's not impossible if the Falcons win tonight, but it gets a lot tougher. You'd love to see a Commanders win. So let's go Jaden Daniels is where I'm at right now. But yeah, big game, fun win. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.